This is not a tragic accident. It is a crime scene and should be treated as such.
Author, journalist, and activist Naomi Klein was on Democracy Now!, where she discussed how Trump might exploit his COVID diagnosis. Watch this.
As you know, Amy, I also have spent a lot of my my writing career researching moments of shock and how they are exploited by the powerful. That's the thesis behind the shock doctrine. And so I find myself thinking a lot about that this morning, because as we speak, there is no doubt that Trump is meeting with his advisors and has been since they knew about this, since they knew about Hope Hicks, trying to figure out how to exploit this, including, I'm afraid, using it as an excuse to do what they have been trying to do relentlessly, which is discredit elections that Trump is terrified he is going to lose. So as we think about what this means, we need to be prepared for the president using the fact that he's having to cancel campaign events for 2 weeks to try to further delegitimize elections that he very likely will lose. I think we need to remember that this president has been campaigning for re-election since the day after he was inaugurated, and since he started circulating false photographs of the rallies that supposedly greeted him. He has had plenty of time to campaign. He has done nothing but campaign for re-election since he became president. So I think that, we're seeing a lot of Democrats sending thoughts and prayers this morning. I really think we should see Trump getting COVID as the epidemiological equivalent of a mass shooting, where the shooter opens fire on the crowd and then turns the gun on himself. This is not a tragic accident. It is a crime scene and should be treated as such.
That is the most perfect explanation of Trump getting the virus. Naomi Klein really does have a way with words. This is not a tragic accident. It is a crime scene. Trump has helped to spread the virus through his inaction and through his action. As I discussed in a earlier during this live stream that I'm recording, Trump put an end to the masks. The USPS had a plan to send out 5 masks to every household. Trump stopped that, leading, and that was back in April, leading to tens of thousands of more dying, millions more getting the virus, and now it's come back to bite him. So this is not a tragic accident. This is a crime scene that Trump himself exacerbated. Now, on to the point where she discusses where Naomi Klein discusses how Trump might use the virus to his advantage. I mean, this works regardless whether he recovers or not. So if he doesn't recover and he remains sick, he will attempt to gain sympathy. He will try to use it as a way to delegitimize the results if he loses, acting like, oh, it wasn't a fair election because I couldn't campaign. I had to be home. I was sick in bed. So he'll use it that way. If he does recover, the other way he can use it is to simply downplay the virus and putting even more people in danger and still delegitimizing the election results because he wasn't able to campaign for 14 days while he was isolated. So this is... If you know anything about the GOP playbook and Trump specifically, regardless of outcomes, regardless of what they do or don't do, they always find a way around it. They always find a way to use it to their advantage. And that's the same thing that's going to happen again with this diagnosis. So regardless of what happens, regardless of the outcome here, Trump is going to use this virus as a way to delegitimize the election results when he loses. Right now, he's being destroyed in national polling. He will absolutely lose the popular vote. The only questions around the Electoral College, but even then, Biden is doing very, very well in all the swing states against Trump right now in polling. But again, a lot of people are going to also, Democratic voters are going to vote by mail. A lot of those votes won't be counted until after the election. So if same-day voting falls with Trump or sides with Trump, then he will attempt to claim victory, attempt to delegitimize the mail-in ballots. And I mean, there are so many he has a ton of different ideas, many different ways that he will try to either delegitimize the results, try and flip the election, try to steal the election. There's a great Atlantic piece that I discussed in a video last week that goes over a number of them. But COVID-19 just gives him an extra way to try and delegitimize the results.